invite this man on our stage.
Thank you so much, Granny B, for that wonderful welcome. And you as well, Estelle. Thank you so much for that. Tonight, we're going to talk about coaching and giving feedback. These are vital skills for a leader. And with those skills, you can motivate your team to succeed. So I'm going to switch now to a presentation, the Toastmasters International presentation on coaching and giving feedback. And I'll switch over to that now. With any luck. Okay, can you see a screen that says leader as a coach? I believe you can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, good. So the world needs strong, competitive, competent leaders who, whether in industry or communities or civic organizations, but also in Toastmasters. And a successful club or an unsuccessful club is due to the quality of the leadership within that club. Leadership abilities are not inherited. Just like communication skills, leadership skills are learned and honed. And they have done through the experience of facing challenges and learning from failures and successes. Club leaders, as a coach, can do all of these things. Some definitions, though, I found this field a little bit confusing. I think it is a little bit confusing. So I'm going to give you some definitions first. And that is a mentor is that is a mentor and a coach. They are very similar indeed. Toastmasters does distinguish them, and the best I can offer you is that a mentor is specific to one or two people, whereas a coach is someone that steps in where necessary. But apart from that, they're doing very much the same thing. Now, the other aspect to it is that the old-fashioned definition was that a mentor was reactive and a coach was proactive. So a football coach will teach you how to score the goal, whereas the football mentor will tell you why you missed it. But that doesn't happen in practice. You coach, you give feedback afterwards. It's not proactive, and a mentor is not necessarily reactive. He can give proactive things as well. But that's how I see the two. Protege is old world name. The ancient Greeks had proteges. The modern word is mentee. And so you have a mentor and a mentee, or a coach and a mentee. A life coach is again confusing because a life coach is very much reactive, not proactive at all. You're asking questions. Why did you do that? How did it make you feel, as they develop someone's personal problems and solves them? Club sponsor is somebody that starts a new club. That's what a sponsor is. And a club coach is someone that rescues a struggling club. A club mentor is someone that works on a new club and trains and helps the new club develop with all Toastmasters methods. So I hope that helps with some of these definitions, which I find as a little bit confusing. So what is a coach? A coach is someone that takes a personal interest and helps it helps the individual who they're working on, serves as a role model, coach, and confidant. And that confidant is very important, must be confidential, all the work they do, so it develops trust, which is the heart of any relationship. The coach will offer feedback, knowledge, insight, wisdom, and perspective for the individual they are coaching, and helps them to be successful. That is the point. Helps that individual to be successful. Qualities of a coach are available, always there, as far as possible, of course. Patient with the individual and sensitive to their needs, respectful for them, because they might have a different idea on the topic, and you must respect that idea that they have and maybe adjust to it and maybe even adopt it. Flexible, so you can adjust to the needs of your person you are working with. Supportive, of course, supporting with them, wanting them to succeed and helping them to do that. Knowledgeable. What if you're not? Then you don't know the answer to a question. You go and find it, come back with it. Very important that come back with the answer, and then that trust and reliability gets cemented. Confident that we're going to be successful. This is going to work. So that confidence feeds onto it feeds the person you're working with, and they grow with that confidence. A good listener and listens to all the problems, listens all the time, and then gives solutions to what they hear. Concern for others, caring, heart of the matter. Big thing with our district director at the moment. Caring is such an important part of Toastmasters, and there we have it there in the coach qualities. Confidential, as I've mentioned, this is so important. It's between you and your mentee, and you are keeping those things confident. Keeping those things confidential. So moving into the transition, you often they're new to the job. And so you have walked that path before. And so you can help them because you will know more because you've done it. They want to be successful, therefore you can help. Now, universal principles for being a coach provide a clear provide clear direction. As a leader, you are measured, recognized, and rewarded for the accomplishments and achievements of the people you lead. To achieve your goals, you do everything you can to help your team succeed. You consider great leaders of the past and the present. They're alike in these three areas. They they foster collaboration and with team building, delegation, coaching, and a service leadership attitude. They motivate achievement by providing that feedback, that support, and recognition, and by resolving conflict. So those are universal principles of the coach. Fundamentals of coaching is guiding and encouraging your team members to achieve superior performance. Work with the team members, help them improve, ensure the team members do what they are supposed to do, and then they will perform better to reach their full potential. They must know what is expected of them. They need to know, for example, let's consider a secretary, what they are supposed to do, write the minutes of the exco meetings and the club meeting. Why? To record what happens at those meetings. How are they supposed to do it? Capture brief notes, type them up, read them out at the next club meeting, and save them in easy speed. That might not be how your club does it, but let's use that as an example of why they are supposed to do it. How well are they expected to do it? Just the key points, titles, decisions, that sort of thing in the minutes, so they can be useful records of what happened. And how well are they doing? They are capturing important stuff, and it is timeous that they get those minutes out on time. Otherwise, they're not so useful. Coach's responsibility sets high but achievable expectations. The heart of the matter is to relate to the distinguished club program. So those are the expectations, maybe side issues, but the distinguished club program is the management system of the club with the club success plan, and that is what the coach must emphasize. Guides team members to achieve, and then offers support to help them achieve those things, and then gives advice for it, for how to succeed, and then provide feedback on how well they are doing, and loads of encouragement. We're doing great. You're doing well. Keep at it. Keep at it. You have got a few things to do yet, but you're doing great. And if you do that kind of thing, then your team will be successful. 5 steps to effective coaching. You want your team to function effectively, and it'll be successful if it achieves its goals. They must know their goals. They must know what's expected of them, and and you must praise successes. And non-performance, then you give guidance to them. Now, if you have someone that is not performing, then you meet with that team member. Ask for an acknowledgement that the issue is not, that there is an issue here and that things are not working as well as they could. Then work towards a solution of solving that problem and then follow up to see, are they doing what they agreed to do? But the very important thing is, do they know what's expected of them? And a real aspect of the coach is to get my pointer, is to compare the performance with expectations, but they must know what is expected with them. Meet with the team member and discuss the problem and work towards a solution. Tips for the discussion: talk with them, not down to them. Admit when you've made a mistake. Keep it simple. Elaborate discussions are not necessary. Just keep it simple with what you want to talk about, and listen and don't interrupt when your mentee is talking to you about the problem. Listen. Keep it short and specific, and address the issues directly. And be sincere. Heart of the matter. Show that you're caring about your mentee and mean what you say. And be timely. Don't delay. Don't wait any time at all. As soon as there's an issue, discuss that with the mentee as soon as you can. Then setting up the relationship. Now let's consider a vice president education is not getting the program out on time and it is not complete. Well, set up the meeting, date, time, venue, and consider Zoom. Zoom works very well. Then tell them about yourself. And there's something I believe in here, and that's called vulnerability trust. Now, if I was to tell you that I'm an engineer, that I am a fanatical engineer, and I believe that I can fix anything, and if I can't, I can see personal failure. I also make my own beer. And you will ask your question, why is he telling me this? I'm telling you this because it's an it's an example of vulnerability trust. Because what's happening to you now is your subconscious, maybe even your conscious, is thinking, he's trusting me with this personal information, therefore I can trust him. And if you do that as the starting point of your chat with your mentee, then that will be just the initial thing to get the trust going. And trust, as I mentioned, is the heart of any relationship. And then, of course, you back it up with the 4 Toastmasters values, which is integrity, which is doing what you say you're going to do. Respect, which is telling them what you are going to do. Service, well, you're a coach, so you're already in service. And excellence, which is doing things properly. And if you do that, then you're going to start setting up that relationship of trust and getting your team, getting your individual, your mentee to start to do what is required. Then you ask about them and show that you care. And what are you doing outside of work and Toastmastering? What do you like doing? Get that relationship going and show that you care. After you've learned about that person, you can show that caring, which is so important. And then carry on building rapport as you make more and more contact with them and build that rapport and trust, which is so important. Let's have a look at the issue. You ask questions, express the issue. You may get a surprise because the individual, as you get to know them, they're starting to trust you with their information, and you get to realize that they weren't quite the idle person you thought they were because they weren't getting the program out. The VPE wasn't getting the program out because they've got a huge workload, busy at work. The poor person is trying to get their child through school. They need more money, is doing part-time work, and to fit in a VPE program is very, very difficult. And now you've got a different slant on this thing because the person has now got serious problems, and then you can work on that. Maybe that person needs help to do that job. However, that's the kind of thing that you can work towards a solution, and of course answer all the questions. And as I mentioned, what you can't answer, get back to them with it. That enhances the trust. Benefits of this coaching is that you generate high morale in your team if you carry on with this with all the members, because we've set a bad case. There's also coaching for people who've done well and giving them a benefit, giving them a good feedback. And that morale means working together and achieving goals, and team members feel good. Empowerment. People feel confident and willing to accept more responsibility. And development. Team members will learn and improve. They grow more creative and create more. And the leader benefits too, because the team productivity increases, the team completes tasks to your expectations. You are the leader. The team skills increase, and you can delegate more time, and you can delegate more time for other leadership responsibilities. So it's a win-win situation, the coaching principle. And then coach by example. Your duty as a leader is to do everything possible to improve the performance of your team. Praise or help from a leader motivates. As a coach, you show them how they can help themselves and help their organization improve its overall performance. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we have on coaching itself. But one very important aspect of coaching is the giving feedback. I've touched on it in there, but let's have a look at feedback in a little bit more detail. Hmm. So sorry, it seems I didn't bring the other presentation up. Funny, it's there.
Has Tim frozen?
Yes. Yeah.
He might have dropped off and then will be appearing again.
It seems like it dropped off. No, it's
He's
still
coming
here.
back.
Cool.
He's back. He just came back. And he might be talking and he's muted. There we
Can
go.
you hear us?
Did you lose me?
We did.
I was talking to myself there. Right, let's see if I can find this presentation now.
If you like, I can share it for you. Will that help
don't.
you?
No, no, it won't, because I've changed it.
Well, Tim is busy with his presentation. I just want to find out, everyone, did you manage to download the PDF workbook that I sent you? If you're having trouble, I know someone asked me if I could just send them the PDF because they had trouble. Great.
From my side, I managed, yes.
Great. Thank you, Vuyani. No one else had trouble. I'm so glad. Karen, you are on mute. Sorry, Karen, I see you speaking, but I cannot hear anything. There you go.
I did what I sorry, I did manage to download it once I got at home. So at work, the firewalls block everything. But I managed around it, no problem.
Okay, great stuff. Perfect.
Thank you.
I see Private
Right.
X45. I will connect with you privately.
So
Tim, the floor is
I'm
yours.
ready.
Mr. Knights,
Hello.
you are.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. That was another Zoom problem. I always have a problem with Zoom. It's something I'm getting used to. And this one was because I have two presentations. I don't think I've done that before. So I've learned how to handle two presentations, I hope. So let's see. And right. So giving effective feedback, very important part of coaching. And you need to have this skill of how to do it, because there are certain factors with giving feedback that are necessary. And so we'll have a look at those now. And feedback helps the team leader, helps the team to be more successful, helps to the leader will be giving feedback about their behavior, their attitudes, their relationships, and progress towards achieving their goals. So let's have a look at that. Helps the team achieve goals, build confidence and pride, and gives them that confidence that they can now proceed with being more successful. Now, feedback, the 4 steps of it are to set clear and concise objectives. And if the team member knows what is required of them, then they will find it easier to perform. And very importantly, you have a standard which you can measure them. So if you've given them clear objectives, then you can measure them against those objectives and base your feedback. And then you watch your team member's performance and know where he's doing well and where he doesn't meet expectations. Now, remember what I said, you must provide immediate feedback. You can't wait. You must do it immediately, and time diminishes the effectiveness of that praise or criticism. And feedback is both praise and criticism, so not just criticism. And then recognize positive performance where people are doing well and performing their expectations, and don't focus on an outstanding member or a poor performer. Focus on everybody, get everybody an equal chance of your feedback. Giving constructive feedback, don't allow an ineffective team member to continue his or her behavior. That can prevent the team from meeting its goals. So you must step in immediately, else you might lower the morale and motivation of the team. Be specific. Don't be general. Don't say, oh, that was good or that was bad. Be specific about the feedback that you're giving. And otherwise, if it's unclear, then the message can be ignored or misinterpreted. So, and no improvement might occur. So offer specific details and the effect it also has on the team. That's important. Speak for yourself. Don't say you did that, you were wrong. Say, I felt, I saw, I'm concerned. So use that tone and that approach so that you're not pointing the finger, you're talking from yourself. And of course, be sincere. Sincerity is so important in trust so important in teams, that you're a sincere person. Say how a specific action and makes you feel. And that's an example of sincerity. And then you can emphasize how the actions of that team member is affecting the team, and that could be make them realize that what they're doing isn't such a good thing. Use the I technique, saying can make them feel defensive. If you say you, as I mentioned, you can make them feel defensive rather than say I felt. Rather say I'm sorry. Rather say I felt this was a problem, and end on a positive note. Now, I'm going to mention now the sandwich principle. This is, I'm sure most of you know this, and the sandwich principle is when you give feedback, you give a few good points first, generally good points first. Then you give the not so good point, the bad point. Mustn't you say bad, not so good point, and then the best. So you sandwich that not so good point between good points and the best point. And it is very powerful when you do that. Now, you, since here's an example that you could give to a vice president of education. Since you've been here, you've been a good team player. The issue with the programs is serious. They're not getting out on time. We need to get them complete and out on time. But that dinner meeting you organized was fantastic. Continue like that, and you're going to be successful. So that's the sandwich principle. I use it all the time. It's very powerful. You can use it outside of Toastmasters as well with people that work for you, and it really works well. And then, as I said, recognize improvement, observe the performance after the feedback session. And if the improvement occurs, praise the team member. Say, yeah, well done. That was good. If it doesn't occur, then have another feedback session, and eventually perseverance. I'm sure the person will grow. Recognize positive performance. Be specific when you recognize. I've mentioned this. State precisely what the team did to deserve praise. Remember, I mentioned that dinner meeting just now. Say, oh, that you're generally very good. But if you say that specific dinner meeting, that way you organize that was good. So be specific, and then they will know what the point was and be grateful for that praise. Express your appreciation. Explain why the team member's effort was effective and how it contributed to the success of the team. So explain it. It's again another aspect of being specific, and then encourage them to do more of the same. Meaningful feedback to team members will reinforce their outstanding performance and encourage others to improve. Meaningful feedback reinforces outstanding performance and encourages others to improve. And so that is the kind of thing that you can do with feedback as a coach. And use your Toastmasters evaluation skills when providing feedback. I've mentioned the sandwich principle, very powerful. And teams can meet and even exceed goals when evaluation skills lead the team to its fullest working potential. Okay. So those are the two presentations I wanted to give you today. Do you have any questions so far? I see we're way ahead of time, so plenty of time for questions. Have I floored you or? Okay. Right, we're going to go to a breakaway session now, and I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. And here's what we're going to do. This will be in the in the chat. There's a Word document in the chat with precisely these words on it. So you breakout room. Once you're in there, someone must volunteer as a chairman. Below, and I'm going to show you them in a minute, there are case studies for you, and they will be posted in the chat with this, but it's all part of this one document. They will be posted in the chat. Note the number of your group. That is the case study you will work with. The chairman must lead the group, make notes, or if he wants to delegate that, he can get a scribe to recruit and capture all the notes that are in that breakaway group. The chairman or the scribe then reports back to the main group afterwards. So here are the case studies. Number one, George is a good vice president public relation, but does not attend EXCO meetings. What are you going to do about that? Fred is a dreadful officer and does nothing. A nice meaty one for you. Mary is a good meeting sergeant at arms, but never gets the room ready on time and meetings are delayed. Tom is a very enthusiastic vice president membership, but he is studying and disappears for days on end. Guests don't get followed up or contacted. When he appears, he tries to catch up, but many guests don't get captured. Number 5, Dick is the IPP, immediate past president, but won't let the role of president and won't let go the role of president and interferes all the time. 6, Harry is the treasurer and good at collecting the dues, but then is slow in getting the money to world headquarters. We have missed treasurer's excellence and distinguished club program goal for getting, and the distinguished club program goal for getting dues in. So I don't know how many breakaway groups we're going to have, but you're going to get a number. Whatever group you go in, it'll have a number, and then whoever, whatever number you've got, that is the case study that you will tackle, and then make notes of how you're going to solve this problem. And then after that, at about 5 to 8, there'll be a report back. You can come back and report back on your findings. Any questions? How many groups are we going to have, Estelle?
We're going to have 6 because we have 6 scenarios they can speak about. And I have posted it in the chat. It's a PDF. Was everybody able to download the PDF? Please let me know if you did
the Word
not.
document. Oh, you converted it to a PDF. Okay. Okay.
So it's easy to download. Okay, everybody was able.
Oh, okay.
Then I'm going to open the breakout rooms if you are ready, Tim.
Kindly share
Yes.
it again.
I'm sharing it again quickly.
Thank you.
It starts with breakout room assignments. Have you managed
how
to
long?
download? 15 minutes.
Thank you.
Tim, are you ready? Can I open the breakout rooms?
Are you asking me? Okay, you can
I'm
open them for
asking you.
me.
Perfect, I'll do that.
I'm sorry. Will people know the room they're going into? The number?
Yes, the room, they will know the room. I have assigned them to either room 1, room 2, room 3, room 4.
Okay. Okay.
You're welcome to go into the rooms, Tim, and just watch over the discussion, and maybe they have some questions.
Okay. So I'll go with them one by one, shall I?
Yeah, go to room 1, 2, jump to 6,
Okay, so
and
you're going to
just
send me to.
visit anyone you can. I can send you. Let me send you to room 1, and then you can just let me know if you want to go to another room.
Okay. Well, I'll come back, and then you can send me to 2, and I'll go through each one.
Perfect. Okay. Have you received a pop-up? Cool. Good evening, Brighton.
Evening, Estelle.
How are you doing?
How are you? I'm good, and yourself?
I'm great. I'm great. It's not Monday, so I'm great. Have you received a pop-up?
Not as yet. Not as yet.
I assigned you to room 6, so let me try and move you to another room and then move you back to 6.
Thanks.
Cool. Let's see what happens.
I had it and I lost it. Oh.
Okay, let me try again. Received it?
Thank you.
Great. Enjoy. Nhlangu, Mr. Kumalu, have you received a pop-up? Okay. Private X45. What is your real name that you're registered with, so that I can just have you on my agenda, so that I can mark you as attended? Eva? Eva, have you been to a room and you fell out, or did you not go to a room at all? Have you received a pop-up?
I fell out.
Which room were you in?
I wasn't in a room. I fell out before the room allocations.
No problem. I am going to assign you to room 5. No, room 6. I'm going to assign you to room 6. Have fun.
Please assign me again. I pressed the wrong button.
No problem. I'm going to do that for you again. There you go. Mr. Knights, can I assign you to room 2?
I got kicked out then.
Oh, really? Do you want to go back to room 1?
No, I was. Yeah, it kicked me out just as I left. Maybe I clicked the leave button at the bottom.
Oh, no. And not go back to the main session. Okay. I'm going to assign you to room 2 then, right?
Yes, please. Yep.
Right. Eva? Can I assume you are not close to your device? Private X45. I'm just going to put you guys in the waiting room so that I can know that you are in this session.
Estelle, do you see what private X45 is saying? And
No. Oh,
in
experiencing
the,
very bad weather. Can't even hear properly. Lots of lightning. No. Mary Mutsami. I don't know how to solve your problem.
Thank you. Are you gonna? Ah, there we go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I had a sneak peek into your rooms and I saw everyone was getting stuck into the problem. It's so super to see that. So let's get on with the solutions. And number one, what are you going to do with George?
Thank you, Tim, for the challenge that I think faces many groups. We had excellent input from the group with great insights and also coming across as caring, which is in line with our guiding principles. So it was lovely. So the suggestions from everyone, which is brilliant. The first is just starting with making sure that there's a preset time so that everybody knows that time well in advance. They can schedule it into their diaries and then they can work around it, and linking into that to find a date that is suitable to everyone. If somebody already has a commitment on another date, then rather try and find a date that's suitable to everybody. We'll also then make sure that we understand what the reason is for the person not attending the meeting, so we can get an understanding of what the issue is and perhaps offer some suggestions and some solutions. The key thing, though, is come across as also the sandwich approach is important because we need to reinforce what the positive behaviors are. If he's doing a good job in his work, we need to encourage him to keep on doing that work and recognize that so he feels important. Then provide the feedback that why it's not effective, it's important, and it's having a negative effect on the group, and then end off again with something positive to build the person's confidence. Also highlight how important it is. And one of the suggestions came through was to remind the person that, well, George, that he's part of a team and that we need to make some of those decisions together. So although he's working on his portfolio, it isn't a silo. We need to work in conjunction with the other roles so that we can work and provide a team effort to be most effective as a club. And also a suggestion was asking that person to come through to meetings to share some input and some suggestions for the other role players, which may then also encourage the person to feel important, that he needs to be there so that he can be a valuable member of the team. Also, and identify if there's some other conflicts, maybe the work pressures or too many other time commitments. Perhaps we can then look at how we can share that workload, bearing in mind that everyone's busy. So we also need to be careful that we don't raise false expectations that somebody else may take on the role, and then they may end up not being able to perform their roles. Okay. The other suggestion was that perhaps we have a subcommittee and have somebody sort of shadowing George, who could then come to the meetings when he can't attend the meetings. That person can then provide feedback to the meeting on his behalf and then also give him feedback on what happened at the meeting. What may be a suggestion as well is if he can't come to meetings, it's important for people to know what he's been working on so that we can see the progress as well. So it's also important for him, if he really can't come to the meeting, provide feedback beforehand so that at the meeting we can include his updates and his progress in the meeting update and the meeting discussions. All right. Also expressing concern that he's an important member of the group, that he needs to be there so that we can contribute as a positive group together. We need to listen with empathy and care, whilst highlighting that it is important for him to be there. And that links on to another suggestion, was just to clarify that he's aware of all the aspects of his role, that it's not just performing the role, that part of the role is participating in those EXCO meetings as well. Also getting an understanding on why he isn't attending, make sure that we can highlight what the issues are so that we can come up with some suggestions and he can come up with some suggestions as well and go into the specifics, not just high level, oh, I'm just so busy, but go into the specifics of what the real challenges are And the suggestion was also to do a one-on-one discussion, probably from the president, who's like the boss in a way, or perhaps even the mentor, to have a one-on-one discussion with him and just see what some of the issues are. Might find that the person is reserved, doesn't like group meetings, or has a problem with Zoom even. Some of those issues would need to be considered and addressed. So all in all, the whole suggestion was then really to look at making him feel important, that he's a necessary member of the team, at the same time that his absence from the meetings is having a negative effect on the exco and on the club as a whole. Find out what the issues are, look outside the box. How can we come up with some solutions that can be effective, and encourage him and praise him for the work that he's doing effectively. And the more we can encourage that, especially at the meetings, if we can give him positive feedback at the meetings, he's probably going to want to come to the meeting so he can hear more praise. So hopefully that will be helpful to other members as well. Back to you, Tim.
Yeah, thank you, Nikki. I'm sure it will. That was brilliant, quite brilliant. I have to congratulate you on that. You covered many different scenarios because George was in a black box. You didn't know anything about him. And you covered all the scenarios, or many scenarios. I can't say you carried all of them, but you covered many scenarios to see what his problem was and whether we could persuade him to come back. So congratulations on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Good teamwork.
Yep, thank you. So problem number 2, who is the spokesman for problem number 2?
Yes, I will be the spokesperson.
Okay, Luciano. So Fred is a dreadful officer and does nothing. What are you going to do with Fred?
Okay, good. So we had a very detailed discussion, and a couple of points came up there. How we would address this? Address it in line with the Toastmasters value. And one of the Toastmasters value is to provide a supporting environment for everybody. And we would act 2 points. First would be is having a conversation, get a team, and have that conversation on one-on-one. So as a team, we'll have one person will have one-on-one conversation with him to try to understand what's really happening. And while having this conversation, and that's going to be the place where the person will really put in practice emphatic listening so that he can understand why, what is happening, and how can we help at the end of the day. So that's extremely important. But after doing that, then we will observe his reaction if we see any change in his behavior. So if we don't see any change in his behavior, then we have the second conversation with him. The second conversation with him is that where we speak with him and we have the roles and responsibility for his position. So where we would go through each role and responsibility of his position, and then we'll have during the conversation, we can determine with him is he up to that task at the end of the day? Because there's a key aspect in there is if we leave this behavior for a long time, that can have a detrimental impact on the team at the end of the day. So we need to act as swiftly as possible, but however, we also need to take into account Toastmasters value. We need to have that supporting environment for him also, for him to succeed. Those are the aspects that we discussed that we would implement also. There are multiple other aspects that we also discussed, but at the end of the day, we wanted to see how can we support him in order to see a change in the behavior. Then if we identify the ways we can support him, then we can go ahead and support. But however, if there's no way we can support, we also need to act swiftly in order for the greater good of the team at the end of the day. So this is what we were discussing within our team. There are many other points, but it boils down to those 2 items. Support him to get the best. If not, then we need to act accordingly.
Luciana, did you say all the committee was going to speak to him one by one?
No. Just one person would be assigned to have the one-on-one conversation, because if you have that conversation like as a group, can be intimidating. It's easier to establish a rapport and practice that emphatic listening when you have one-on-one conversation.
Yeah, excellent. Well done. Because that was a tricky one, that one. So
yes,
you've covered many angles of how to solve that. So well done again. So now We have Mary. Mary is a good meeting sergeant at arms, but never gets the room ready on time, and meetings are delayed. Who's handling Mary?
Can you see and hear me?
I can hear you. Here we go. Yes, there we are. See you now. Sagametsi. Okay, how are you handling Mary?
Okay. Let me just do this. Yeah, let me hold it like that. From our team, we agreed that the best thing is for the president to have a meeting with Mary and talk about this issue. We had a bit of a discussion around whether it should be the president or it could be anyone on the EXCO team, but we agreed that the president, being the sort of highest officer and being responsible for all the EXCO members to support them, might be the ideal person to approach Mary to address this issue. And the first thing is that it will be important to acknowledge that Mary is good at her job. And then also have Mary acknowledge that there is an issue. I feel it's at this point where it might be important for the person speaking to Mary to also show some vulnerability and maybe share a time in their lives when they also failed to fulfill their duties in the past. And to say that, it happens, but it is something that we can always work on and come to a solution. And then we also will need to understand, does Mary know what is expected of her as the sergeant at arms? Because it says she's good at her job, maybe she doesn't to me now it looks like she understands what is expected of her. Then maybe then the part that Mary needs to understand is what are the consequences of not having the meeting room on time? How does it affect the club? And maybe bring up the first impressions, moments of truth, so that they understand what that first impressions affects the club in a negative way, because it looks unprofessional and visitors might not come back. Also, it is important to understand what challenges Mary is facing, get to the root cause of this behavior. Maybe Mary has a high pressure job and she, maybe she gets stuck in traffic every time. We don't know. So it's important to really also give her a chance to explain her side and listen without interrupting, as indicated in the presentation. Once all this has been received, then the president and Mary will need to come up with a plan, and then it must have a time frame. Somebody suggested one meeting, but we didn't discuss that because I think we ran out of time. But this would be a time frame to observe if there's any improvement from Mary's side, and also whenever she does it right, then we have to praise her, and so that she gets encouraged and feel acknowledged. And then let me see. Yeah, I think that is what I have. If I left anything, can somebody from group 3 please just add if I left something important? But yeah, basically that's what we said. Talk to Mary, understand if she understands her responsibilities, the consequences, listen, and come up with a solution, time bound, give praise when she gets things right, and see how it goes. Thank you, and back to you, Tim.
Thank you. Super. Well done for that. You covered so much, and you had a structure. You had a way you were going to work through it and get Mary to become a good sergeant at arms. I love the way you included vulnerability, trust, now including that so that you've got that trust set up, and brought in moments of truth and the power that would be a very powerful argument that we need to have that room ready on time. So congratulations on that. And our next speaker, our next person was Tom, who's a very enthusiastic vice president membership, but he is studying and disappears for days on end. Guests don't get followed up or contacted. When he appears, he tries to catch up, but many guests don't get captured. Who's handling Tom?
I am Tim.
Yep.
We
Super.
had quite a robust discussion about it, and we made sure everybody was able to look at it from their point of view, wherever they are in their excos or in their club. What came out from the whole discussion was, number one, making sure that in your exco you have co-workers or subcommittees. This not only assists with catching those issues of things that haven't been actually attended to, but also helps with your succession planning, helping the entire club in the end. Then we were speaking about exactly what you had been teaching us on coaching, that we need to set up a relationship meeting with the VPM and find out actually the why behind everything. What is happening in their lives, and how can we connect with them to understand how it is impacting their part of our exco. We would then like to see that we actually find out they are a student. Do they still have the capacity to fulfill their role or not? As this is a very important question as to how are we going to attend to the problem unless we know, can they see themselves continuing in that role? Then we need an action plan, something that will help us work through specific points to prevent this issue continuing and people falling through the cracks. To use the sandwich approach when speaking to the VPM and letting them understand what they're actually doing well and the enthusiasm that they bring to their role. And it's critical to have targets in each role. Are you meeting your target? Are you able to see yourself, envision yourself meeting those targets or not? And finally, every single role in our exco is of vital importance. And for that reason, having a backup is actually crucial to ensuring your entire exco runs very well and smoothly. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Feline. And like your structured approach as well of what you've done, another structured approach, that's excellent. And I love the focus on the why, that you want to know what is his problem, what's his background. You know he's a student, but is there more to it than that? You found out that why, and then action plan, and you brought in the sandwich principle, which, as I've mentioned, is very powerful. So well done on that. And now we move on to Dick, group number 5. Dick is the IPP, but won't let go of the role of president and interferes all the time. So who is the spokesman for Dick?
Matomi?
Okay.
Oh, yes, room number 5 in the house.
I'm a
Okay. Sir Tim Knight, as I fondly call you. From room 5, we did a role play immediately. When we went in there, we saw that we only have 10 minutes, and then we did a role play. And in the role play, what came out was, it was a role play of a meeting from the area director and the EXCO members to meet with the IPP. And the IPP, yes, was very busy. And then we said, okay, but we just need to give you some feedback about your involvement in the area, in the club. So we did the sandwich approach. We highlighted how much we appreciate the presence of immediate past president, because generally speaking, immediate past presidents normally are generally not known not to participate in the new EXCO. So we highlighted appreciation of the fact that he's still present, Nick is present with us. And then we appreciated the achievements that the club had while he was the president, all the good things that he led the club to as the president. And then we said, okay, there's just one area of concern that we are having, that your involvement is appreciated, but it may be usurping the authority of the current president. And then we suggested, and a lot of suggestions came while we were doing the role play, to suggest that the immediate past president should then coach or mentor the current club president. And also, we recommended, one of the recommendations that came up is, please do a pathway, not a pathway, what is that? A module on Toastmasters for club coaching or even mentoring and coaching, so that he can do all of that, but still present. We still need the participation, but this time as a coach and as a mentor. Those were the suggestions we came up with. And Dick was very appreciative of the fact that we see him as, yes, there's Anlisiwe correcting me, the club coach short course. Thank you, Anlisiwe. That's team room 5. Thank you so much. So that is the club coach course that we recommended, and he really appreciated it. And as the club, we are there to support him in making sure that he can also get those points towards the DTM journey, the DTM award, because that's one of the things to be DTM, is to be a club coach. And I mean, not to be a club coach, yes. So that's what we recommended to our ever so present immediate past president.
Okay. Well done, a role play, and you had somebody there as your area director. Love it, love it. And you persuaded him to become a club coach, and hopefully that would shut him up. So well done, a very novel approach. I do like it. Just a small word of caution: that kind of club coach, isn't the qualification that you need for DTM. That's a much bigger position. You've got to rescue a club, so be careful of that. Don't think that's all he needs to do for his DTM. But that's a trivial aside. But many congratulations on what you did there. This is lovely, I must say. So number 6, Harry is the treasurer and is good at collecting the dues, but then is slow in getting the money to world headquarters. We have missed Treasurer's Excellence and Distinguished Club Program goal for getting the dues in. So, Pamela, are you going to tell us all about Harry?
Yes, evening, everybody. So our group indicated that first of all, we should acknowledge the good work that Harry does by obviously giving him a congratulation and saying well done on collecting the dues, and then inquiring of his well-being in terms of his work-life balance to kind of understand where he's at in his life. And upon understanding where the issue is, then we would highlight the impact of the lateness of the dues, that it impacts the club as well as the members, because it's a reflection on a club to say that we are late payers, and as a result, we would have missed out on this opportunity of getting Treasurer's Excellent, which would be a good pat on the back for him as a treasurer to have that against his name as a good treasurer. Now, we go on to the point of what support the treasurer would require. Would it be upskilling in terms of further training within the club officer role, or is it upskilling in terms of time management and him having to understand how to set up the reminders and making use of tools like a calendar to remind him when dues are meant to be paid, obviously in transferring them to world headquarters. So a reminder would be maybe a tool that he would need to have that tells him that we are nearing deadline and make sure that payment is done. And also highlighting the importance that he's not working in isolation. He has a team that he can rely on support should he not be able to fulfill his obligation. So in the form of saying that I won't be able to make the payment, can somebody take over to make that payment? And only because based off where he is in terms of his life at that point in time.
Okay, well done. Thank you. Like the way you wanted to get close to him, to his what his life is all about, and then how it's impacting on the club. And the motivation of the treasurer is excellent. That was a very good point. And then the upskilling that you wanted to give him. So these are very, very good points. And of course, he has the whole team there to help him where necessary. He's only got to shout. So well done for that. Well done for everybody for magnificent feedback. It's been really super hearing what you said. And in conclusion, as a Toastmasters leader, you'll be leading a team of people with very different levels of experience. Sometimes they won't know what to do. Sometimes they will neglect their duty. The situation you have, required to coach them and give them feedback. And coaching is a valuable skill that you can take outside of Toastmasters to the outside world. If you do that, you'll be very valuable. So I urge you all to take the opportunity that Toastmasters gives you and take on the leadership track. It's really wonderful and fun. Madam Session Chairman.
Thank you so much, Tim. Is it possible for everyone to just quickly unmute and give him a round of applause for his time and effort that he gave us today?
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I noticed our PQD is in the room, Mr. Becky Sisa.
Thank you, Estelle. I won't be showing my video. I'm still trying to log in on my laptop, but I'm on my phone. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for jumping into this second session of our Excellent in Leadership sessions. And I'm excited for what we have achieved already. These are really valuable for us, and obviously they're building us as leaders. Thank you to Sir Tim Knight. I think that was just a valuable lesson for me too, a leader as a coach and a mentor. Estelle, are you going to touch on the requirements of getting the certificate, or you want me to touch on it?
You are welcome to, sir. I did at the start of the session. Please just do it again.
Great. Okay, as we mentioned, the requirement is at least I attend 5 sessions. So if this is your first session, you didn't attend the first one, make sure that you attend the rest of the other sessions. And if you look at your workbook, we will update it almost weekly, that workbook we are building as we go. But there is a last, towards the last pages, there is a session where we give you opportunities, or we give you ideas on some projects that you can run with, and you would need to complete at least one of those projects and come back with a portfolio of evidence, with a signed feedback form, 360 degrees feedback form, and then you will get a certificate. We recommend that you take a project that will last you 4 to 6 weeks. Don't take some of these projects that are too long. Though if you take maybe a long project, maybe you can choose a goal that you want to achieve. Let's say you wanted to help a club or certain clubs to be distinguished within or to reach to be distinguished ready. Let's say to reach at least 5 goals, and then while the distinguished status will reflect in April, your job would be, okay, help this club to get to 5 goals, and then give us the steps that you took, the vision, and then give us the feedback of the people you work with and the team you worked with, so that we know and see that you are applying these sessions that we are talking about. So you can start your project now if you want to, or you may want, if you want to, you may wait until we finish and start later, but it is up to you when you want to start the project. But the sooner the better, because next year we are going to take another intake, and then we are going to go through the same sessions. Thank you, Estelle, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone next week. I know you're not seeing me today, but definitely next week I'll make sure I show my face. Thank you, Estelle, for putting these together. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. PhD. I'm going to quickly post the feedback leadership link in the chat. If you can just complete it so that I know you were here. And there it is, paste. And while you're ready with that, if you would like, you can put on your camera, and then we can quickly take pictures of everyone that is in the room. Granny B, are you in the room?
I'm in the room.
I will let you lead the session while I take the pictures.
Okay. Have I become the designated photographer here? Okay. Team. I almost said Team Tim Knight. Well, today it was, wasn't it? This gives you a moment to put your camera on. Let us be captured. Some of us are... Ooh, Shahida, it looks all cozy, like candlelight environment. Okay, we all have our stories, isn't it? Hey, good. Let's get those cameras on, and I'm going to take some photos now, and it will be, we don't know which one it is. So I'm just going to count down every time I take a photo. And 3, 2, 1, and smile. Yay! Don't forget to look at your camera while you smile. Hey, I'm going to paste those quickly down for Estelle in the group because, oops. Here we go. Estelle, here it comes. Otherwise, I'm stuck. And the next one, to the next page. You don't know which page you're on. And the next group. Are you ready? And 3, 2, 1. Come on, smile bright. Yay! Oh, I just saw my president. Oh, I love it when I see my president. Hello, Marie. All the way from Swakopmund. If anybody else here can say that name, hey, Swakopmund, you can practice it while I paste the next photograph. And we move on to the... This last page doesn't have many cameras on. Ish. Okay. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and smile. Yay. Oh, these people were so nice. Christofina, I love that smile of yours. Okay, now this is a difficult name. Kesolofetse. Did I mess that up? What a beautiful smile that was. Okay, and now we will do the last one. I don't know how many we'll get in there, but I'll just do one photo so that we don't keep you up all night because, as you can see, I love to take your photos, especially when you make those beautiful faces. Now, today we were mentors and coaches. And normally we do that because we want these people that we are mentoring and coaching, we want them to be winners. So now you discover your person that you mentored and coached has won. What do you look like? 3, 2, 1, and hello, expression. There we go. And I'm going to do one more of that because some of you didn't wake up fast enough. Are you ready? When I go 3, 2, 1, I want to know what would your coachee, no, let's use the right word, your mentee look like what would you look like when your mentee has won? And 3, 2, 1. Yay! There you go. Good job, all of you. Thank you so much. You have done well. And back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Madam District Director and Resident Photographer. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. We will see you next week, same place, same time. Cheryl, you have a question?
Yes, I want to ask you, I couldn't get the Google form. Did you put it up?
I did. Let me quickly try again. It's a link. Copy
And
paste.
who are we having next week, Estelle?
We are having, sorry, I'm answering people while I'm doing this. Next week. How do you guys know? Next week, we have our district director, and she will be all about building a team and motivating people, as she's been doing ever since we've met her the very first time. Shahida, I see you have a question.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Last week I was unable to download the form, the feedback form after the session. Is it possible? I have sent an email, but nobody replied since. I just needed to know, is it still possible for me to get that link to do the form of last week?
Of course it is. I can send it to you. Will you quickly send me your private, just a private, that I can get your WhatsApp, and then I can send it to you.
Thank you so much.
Private.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Nice
Shahida.
planning. Pleasure.
All right. Any other questions? It's exactly 8 o'clock.
Is there,
Yes.
sorry, before you close, can you please also share the previous week's feedback form with me? I also didn't have it. I will send you I'll send you my email. I'll send you via privately.
Perfect. You can just do it in the chat, right? Here, so that I have it in the chat, just privately, so that everybody don't see your number.
I will do so. Thank you so much, Estelle.
Thank you. Have a great evening. It's exactly 8.
Just before we go, I could not download the last week, Mr. Andrews' presentation last week. So I don't know if you can say it. There's the presentation.
There wasn't a presentation. Everything is in the workbook that I sent you. All these notes from last week.
Okay, I'll check on that one.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Estelle.
Thank you, guys. Have a great evening. We will see you next week, same place.
Bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Estelle.
Bye. Bye. I almost say have a great weekend, but it's only Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Estelle, can I
Yes.
ask a quick question, please?
Yes, Sylvia, of course.
I noticed we are recording the meetings. I just wanted to know if we can access the recordings.
I will speak
Will we
to
be
the
sharing the
PQD.
link for the?
I will speak to the PQD and get back to you.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. I will only see you next week or after next weekend. So have a great weekend, Mr. Division Director.
I was about to say see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. And Friday and Saturday and Monday. Matome is everywhere.
Anyway, cheers. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That I won't see tomorrow at COT. See you next time. Ricardo, you have a question, comment? Just a pretty smile for us. I see you speaking, but you're on mute.
A request for the form offline for last week's a visionary leadership session.
Cool. Can you quickly just send me your email, your your phone
My
number
email.
in the chat?
I will. Oh, now. Okay.
Now, yeah. Now, while we're here, then I can quickly just get it and send it to you. Just send me your WhatsApp. Great. Thank you, Ricardo. Mr. Tim Knights.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo. Have a great week. See you. If I don't see you at COT tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Pegasisa.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye. Do you have any other questions, comments? Pretty smiles, right, Ricardo? Right. Sir, thank you so much. I will
Tabo and Chipo.
I think Chipo has been having issues. They were in another breakout room.
Hi guys, thank you.
Good
Bye.
night.
Oh, there
Thank
you are. Great.
sir.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.
I just need to get all these numbers. Right. Sir, I will send your certificate by WhatsApp, as I always do. You probably have a batch of them already. All the certificates. You can have a file by the end of the year full of TLI certificates.
Okay, so sorry about the confusion earlier today. So
No problem.
got sorted out in the end. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tim.
So this
That
is our
was
first run.
masterfully presented. I enjoyed every bit of it.
Super. So did I. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. See you next time.
Definitely. There will definitely be a next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tim. Bye.
Thank you, Estelle. You did such a fantastic job. The turnout is great. I think the turnout the last week was slightly lower than this, or was it same numbers?
No, it was slightly lower, if I remember correctly. I will just go
so
check
there's
on the
been more
form.
uptake.
I think since we opened it to the other divisions, I saw more divisions entered now, but there's still more 74 people than other people.
I see. No, definitely. I think that was great. We have put in some improvements from last week. Was there a timer? Because Tim did it on time. Or he was timing himself.
He asked for a program, and I gave him a program, and he stuck to the program religiously. No, but I was busy with COT, so I didn't find time, and I didn't even have time to find music.
Yeah,
but
thought
COT
so.
is going well.
Nah, it worked out well. How is it going? First, let me say, I think with the sessions, there is no improvement that I can suggest. I think we are doing great. Let's just keep up the momentum. Yeah, and then maybe next week we can have a session where we ask people, have you chosen your project? How is it going? And it doesn't have to be a long session. Maybe if we can ask 3 or maybe 3 to 5 people, just to trigger other people's minds to say, oh, okay, so I can do this too, because other people will be stuck with choosing a project. And then the certificates, how are you going to go about it? I think we can start putting them together now. Otherwise, 71 certificates will take very long to put together.
No, it isn't. You use the bulk option. What you do in Canva is you create one certificate. That's what I've been doing for COT. You create one certificate, and then you import an Excel file, and it creates it for you within 3 seconds.
I didn't know Canva can do that.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay,
then you can create
great.
1 million certificates if you want. And then what you do is you just put it in a Google Drive, and you tell the guys, go to the Google Drive and download.
And then the signature?
Who is your signature?
it's also like you put it on one and then you duplicate.
Yes.
Okay.
You just find it, well, whatever you want, you put in your Excel, and then you just connect it. You use the bulk function in Canva, and then you just
Oh, you
connect
must
it.
teach me that.
Oh, it's
I
so
thought
easy.
I thought I'm a Canva guru. Yeah. You must teach me that.
Yes, and
All right.
it takes like 4 seconds. So.
And then how is it going on with court?
So we had that issue with Lebu, but I managed to sort it. So Devin is going to do it, and I even managed to get I would say Brighton. Oh, I want to speak to you about Brighton. I even managed to get someone that I can get accredited. So Devin is going to evaluate someone. So in that role on Monday, we're going to have another person being accredited. Okay. So about Brighton, is Brighton asked, can you have the email addresses of everyone that applied for the session because he can use them in his club. Okay, he said, what are the chances we have the participants' email addresses? I'd like to invite him to opportunities for club coaching and mentoring opportunities. That might also help them with getting their portfolio. So would you like me to just send the email addresses or give him access to the whole link?
Yeah. Oh, should we give him a slot, maybe a 5-minute slot next week? Or maybe give him, let me talk to him. And then I suggest that maybe we give him a 5-minute slot, or does he want to send emails? And then if he wants to send emails, we'll provide him with the email addresses.
That would be great. I also spoke to Bonnie about having people on her team, and she said she's seriously looking for people, coordinators on her team as well.
Oh yes,
so we can
we
send
can
an
get
email.
some of the people here.
Yes, so we can send an email to all of these guys and tell them, okay, so this is opportunities. You can speak to Bonnie, or you can speak to Brighton. This is their email addresses, and there's phone numbers. Get in contact with them to help set up your portfolio for this course.
No, that's great. So are we going to give Bonnie emails as well, and then she can send them emails?
I can do that. I can do that, or I can just send a bulk email to everyone who applied and tell them this is Bonnie's email address. But I don't know, they should slide
if you want to be part of the conference team and be lead a portfolio there, here's an email. Yeah, I think let's do that.
Right. So let's instead of her contacting everyone, we can just ask them to contact her, and then they should have the area directors' numbers. If they don't, they can just ask the division. But I can give the division directors' numbers if they don't have their numbers.
Exactly. I think we could do that too. Maybe we could share division director and area director details to them, and then they can contact their area directors.
Okay. I don't have the area directors' email addresses.
Yeah, we might need to. I think it will take a while for me to get a spreadsheet with that. Granny B will have a spreadsheet of that.
Should I not just send them to the division directors, and then the division
directors?
Yeah,
rather send them to the division directors, and then maybe they can contact their if the area directors are involved, the division directors will connect them with the area directors.
Okay, cool. Then I will send them an email tomorrow, and I will tell them, oh, thank you and congratulations on being here for the second time. Here are some possible leads that can help you build your portfolio.
Fantastic. Alrighty.
Good. So are we seeing you tomorrow at COT, the first COT?
What time is it?
It is at 6:36. It's at 6 tomorrow.
6 tomorrow. Okay, yeah, I'll join in. I will be at work, but I'll join in.
Okay, no problem. It's no problem. We're just going to be a half hour in the main room, so if you can be there during that half hour, it would be nice.
I'll just join in. I'll just need to remember to take my tie and my jacket when I go to work.
Life never ends. Okay,
all right,
no problem.
See you tomorrow then.
Great, see you tomorrow.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.